just as a rule of thumb, you know, if we want to know what we believe is what we actually do. It isn't just words, but it's put into action. So what we do is what we believe. And last week, I commended all of us for supporting Father Mark Boisvert and the orphans in Haiti. And past weekend, Susan Moss spoke to us about helping the local food pantries here in the Lakes region. And actually, when everything came in, we gave more money to the food pantry than to the offertory. Isn't that great? And wasn't that great? No, really, it's. I just think that the whole idea that you know, do we share with those in need? Do we feed the hungry? Do we care? And what we believe is what we actually do. So I just have to, I think it's terrific. I really think that's the gospel. It really is the gospel. It really is. And if we do share, there'll always be plenty for us. We don't have to worry about that. The big thing is to share. Now, I see Ray Myers is here with his family today. I was a Boy Scout, Ray. And how many of you were Scouts or Girl Scouts or Boy Scouts? Okay. The motto is to be prepared. And that's what the gospel was all about. Be ready, be vigilant, be prepared, because the risen Christ is going to come too. He's going to return in glory. And he says, I'm going to come when you least expect. And actually, he's here, and he comes to us every single day in many, many different ways, and often as a surprise. But we really have to be ready when he comes to take us home. We really have to be ready when he returns in glory. So how do we remain vigilant? How can we really be prepared? And I just want to throw out 4 ideas that I hope will help. And the first idea is just give witness. In other words, right up until he comes to take us home, follow him, be faithful, be a witness. And we don't realize the people whom we're influencing just by being faithful to Christ. I love the story back in the 1830s in Washington, D.C. Daniel Webster, the congressman, the famous congressman, he's actually from New Hampshire. But the story was that during a break in the rotunda, they used to meet in the rotunda. They were talking. Well, does anybody know a real Christian? Do we know anybody? Do you know anybody that really is a faithful follower of Christ? And they weren't. No, I guess. But then Dan Webster said, well, he said, I know a woman in the hills of New Hampshire who's a really committed Christian. I know a woman in the hills of New Hampshire. That woman didn't realize the shadow that she was casting, the light that she was sending out. She actually was influencing Daniel Webster without knowing it. So I know we worry about our family, we worry about the next generation. Just remain faithful. Be a witness, and that's a great way to be vigilant, to be prepared. Keep the faith and live the faith and spread the faith. Be a witness. Number 2, invite people to Christ. Invite people to the church. Invite people to St. Catherine Drexel. We do not pressure people. We do not badger people. We don't do that. We invite. That's a whole different stance. We invite. So if you know of anybody who's never been baptized, invite them. Have them consider it. We'd love to have them. We're fully prepared with a marvelous RCIA team. Dr. Wayne Peternell and Mary Beth Wadniger headed up. We're ready. If you know someone who is baptized but isn't practicing faith, whether they're Catholic or not, invite them. We would love to have them or welcome them with open arms and get them prepared for the Easter sacraments. So number one, be a witness. Number two, invite. Invite. Have them come. Have them come to Mass with you. We'd love to have them. Number three, what we can do. Now, this is Bishop Labashi has sent a letter, and let me just put it, he is very concerned, he's very upset about the violence in the world going on right now. Violence in our own country, violence throughout the world. Every time you turn on the news, you see a different murder or some type of a bombing, suicide bombing. We have all kinds of terrible things going on. And in some, I'm not going to read the whole letter, he thinks it's evil. He thinks evil is going on in the world. And he wants us to combat evil. He wants us to combat evil, and he has a variety of things that he wants us to do right now. Okay, it's all going to center around the Feast of the Assumption of the Blessed Virgin Mary, which is a week from tomorrow, August the 15th, Monday, August the 15th. Anytime an artist tries to portray Mary, it is always a beautiful young woman, a beautiful young woman. You look at our statue over here of Mary, and her face, she's very young, very young. This is by El Greco. It's a copy, all right? But it's in the Madrid museum. But just a beautiful, and usually or often she's carrying her baby. She's carrying the Christ child, Jesus, in her arms. So you always see this young, beautiful mother, and she comes along and she's stunning. And you look and say, well, who's she? Well, that's the Blessed Virgin Mary. That's the Mother of God. She's our mother too. And what the artist is trying to do, the physical beauty reveals the interior beauty, that she is the sinless one. She is the one who gave us the Word of the Father made flesh. She is the one who is the mediatrix through whom all graces flow, because she gave us Christ. And so her feast is next Monday. Bishop Labashi wants us all on Friday the 12th to fast. He says we've got to get on our knees, we've got to fast. When's the last time you heard about fasting? You know, fasting. If you get into the scriptures, the Hebrew scriptures and the Christian scriptures, dealing with evil, remember Jesus said, some of these can only be driven out by prayer and fasting. So, you know, he's very moderate. He says you can have meat once a day, but I'm just going to leave it up to each one of us. And even you young parishioners, you're too young to physically fast, but can you give something up on next Friday? Can you give something up? Make some sacrifice? That's fasting. Fast from something. Fast from something. But that's what he wants us to do, to fast. And then Eucharistic adoration, we have that every Friday from 8:30 to 3. Try to come. Try to come to Eucharistic adoration next Friday. Next Monday, he wants us to celebrate the Feast of the Assumption. So we're going to have 3 Masses, 8 o'clock here, 12 noon at Huggins Hospital Chapel, 5:30 here. He wants more than that. He wants us to pray the Rosary. He wants us to have the Litany of Loretto, which is a Marian litany. So what I'm going to invite you to do is, whatever Mass you come to, come early. If you're coming to the 8 o'clock, show up around 7:30. And before Mass, we'll pray the Rosary together. We'll have the Litany of Loretto. Then we'll have the Holy Eucharist. All right? So by being vigilant, be a witness, invite other people, fast and pray. One more. On August the 22nd, which is the Queenship of Mary, it's a Monday night, at 7 o'clock, we're going to have a Mass of loss to remember. It's so important that we don't forget. It's so important that we remember and trust that God, through the resurrection, will raise everyone up. Have you had losses in your life? The Respect Life Committee is putting on this Mass. Have you had losses? Spouses, parents, children, brothers and sisters, little infants, miscarriages. Those are losses, but there are many other losses. My mother had Alzheimer's. That's a loss. That's a loss, like you lose them before they actually die. That's a loss. Some people have lost their health. They've lost their job. Some people struggle with the loss of faith. All of these are losses, and we want to remember and trust that God will raise it all up. Raise it all up. Trust that death leads to resurrection and life. So there it is. That's going to throw it out. To stay vigilant, to be prepared, be a witness, just keep going, follow Christ, never give up, invite people, fast and pray, and remember. Remember and trust. It's all there. I love the expression, live each day as if it were your last day. And one day, you'll be right.